Even though the spring is starting to show itself, it's a cold, overcast day. We have a formidable list of things that have to get done to be able to move in, and one of the requirements is front steps. Coming out of the house, no step can be over 8.5 inches, and right now we have about 15 inches from the doorway to the ground. We don't have money in the budget or time to get the extensive cement work that we're hoping to put in. So I need to solve this in a way that is both a permanent installation and reasonably alterable in the future.
Come on, let's go inside, buddy. Come on.
Sometimes playing hide and seek with the rain works out in your favor, but not every time. Once again, the rain drove me in, and this time it looked like it wasn't going to give up for the day, so I went ahead and started doing some of the electrical. Having a couple different tasks that you're working on at the same time can help when you have to change gears because you have a delay in one area or another. Maintaining your momentum is important not just for your timeline, but also for your morale. It feels like I've been doing electrical in the house forever. I'm sure that a professional would have finished this in a day or two. But for me, all the overhead work is daunting. I wouldn't say that I'm afraid of heights, but I certainly have a respect for gravity.
Well, it is a pretty day today. The rain chased me in last night. I finally gave up and just focused on some electric stuff inside. But since the weather is good today, I'm back out here and I plan on getting this finished today. Spring is here a full month early. I can't predict the weather. I have no idea what that means for summer. But I know that usually the first day or two that I'm outside doing any work each year, I get dehydrated and I get sunburned pretty bad. So I've gone ahead and put some sunscreen on my neck, on my arms. I'm gonna be pounding water and Gatorade today, and hopefully I can avoid that. But I'm gonna find out what I'm made of because I've got my work cut out for me today. I've gone ahead, gotten this back piece cut. I've gotten it dug in so that it's level across. I have this piece in so that it has at least a I believe it's a 2-degree slope you're supposed to have. You should have 1/4 inch per foot. I exceed that slightly, so we're in good shape. What I've got to do is make this piece over here level to this one so that they come down at the same angle, and then I'm going to cut and place this bottom piece. We'll see how many times Apollo makes me throw this ball today. One downside of it being so nice outside today is that it makes it very difficult to use the laser because the laser is going to give me the best read of what my angle is and what levels are. So while that rain chased me inside yesterday, it kind of did me a favor because it softened the ground. And what I'm able to do now is just take measurements of where everything is and slowly carve away some of the dirt. It's not taking as much effort as it was yesterday trying to work a shovel through it. So Once the sun gets to it for a couple of days, this stuff bakes up pretty hard. Rain gets to it, it softens. This is the time to do it. And right now, this end is 1/4 of an inch higher than this side. And all I'm doing is marking the edges where I've got a little lump. And I'm just gonna slowly take that lump out. I'm gonna recheck it. I think I'll probably be there this time. Hey, hey, what's your opinion on this? Right here I've got it marked. I was gonna have it right there, that's 6 feet. This is a big house, so it doesn't look unusual to have that 8 foot.
The first one's fine. Where you have it right now, it looks better.
All right.
And then as far as depth, you should shorten it and then just do the gravel.
All right, make it about 4 feet then.
Yeah, exactly.
So once I got it out on that 8x8, I actually like the look of that a little bit better than that 6 foot depth, just because the door is so big. I feel like when it's only 6 feet deep, it seems like it's just not quite big enough. So what we're going to do is lay that out just like this. I'm going to cut the pieces, start assembling it, and then I'm going to start to bring the rest of the steps out and turn it into a pathway that comes out. What do you think, Apollo? Is that a good plan?
I'm using a copper coating for ground contact wood. It probably isn't necessary for this application, but in our county, it is required when building a deck for all cuts of treated lumber. And since I already had it left over for the back deck build, it just made sense to take that extra step and use it on the steps.
Nice. Very nice.
The fasteners that you see me using here are 3/4 inch structural screws. I used hundreds of them in the construction of the house, and I'm quite fond of them. These are 12 inches long, but in the house build, I used some that were up to 15 inches long. I learned from experience that sometimes a standard hand driver just won't do the trick and is not powerful enough to drive it all the way in. When I ran into a snag with this step, I was happy to find out that my 20-volt hammer drill is. Going a full 8 feet wide on this step made it very easy to use the tractor and the bucket, but I wasn't prepared for just how much gravel I would need to fill this void. pieces of rebar that I'm hammering in are to keep it pinned to the ground so it doesn't shift from side to side as I'm loading it with gravel.
Of course it is.
Oh, it looks good. I like it. Are you liking it?
Yeah. Now the water's gonna have to come and push some of the dust down when we're
Right.
tracking dust in the house, but
Right.
it'll pack in.
Yeah, it's gonna pack
It's
in.
gonna pack in really tight. It was 5 buckets of rock. But
Oh wow. I think it looks good.
I think it looks good too.
I'm gonna put green right here.
Clean up
right
pretty
there.
nice.
Yeah, and it's not a big thing. to
It should
cook up
settle
here.
in a little bit more too.
Right. Look, we could do this for a while and it not be like weird.
You going for a walk?
I am. Getting your dog.
Okay. You got the throwing stick? It's right here.
I'll take the throwing stick. That ball is not going to be a very good ball.
It works.
Oh, flat.
It's flat.
Now it's kind of frosty looking, but that's just the sweat from my arms. getting there. That'll go away.
Yeah, that doesn't look dangerous at all.
Nope.
Well, I've got the lights in the kitchen area. I've been working on the electric in the back of the house, but I've got to take advantage of this last bit of sunshine that I've got left today, because I need to flatten out this area right here on this hill, because we have a storage unit coming in a couple of days that's going to get set right there. We're going to use that as temporary storage and then once we get things settled in here, this is going to get converted into a small barn, and we're going to build some overhangs to put some of the tractor attachments and some of the other equipment in to get it out of the elements. This is a relatively flat spot right here, and I really only have to take down about 1 foot of material on the left side. It's pretty straight from front to back. I've got to get that down, and then I've got to bring some rock up here after I smooth it out and get the rock on it. So we've got a bed of gravel, put the container on that thing. Should be good to go at that point. Cross my fingers. What are we doing here?
So I want to even this out, and then I want to create like 4 rows because I'm going to put tomatoes,
All right.
flowers.
You want me to back drag it with the bucket to smooth it out a little bit?
Yeah, if you can. I mean, yeah,
I can do
if
that.
You can.
I'll come up and do that. So, this crazy catfish looking thing right here is the light switch for the living room. Jafana and Lauren have already headed home. I'm not leaving until I get these lights working. Now, I've got to get all that connected. There's 2 switches and an outlet that goes there. There's 2 outlets that go right there. They're all in the same circuit. It's really not that much. It's 2 LED lights for the front door outside, 4 LED lights that are hanging down here, and 3 gang of outlet. It's really nothing for a 20 amp circuit. So I'm gonna work on that and see if I can figure out this crazy mess that I've got going on here. I think I've got it figured out. Then I'm gonna get everything hooked in and test it before I leave. Well, I am all out of batteries for my camera. So we're shooting this on my iPhone. I've got everything hooked up. I'm gonna test it out here. I'm gonna test it out and see if this stuff works. That's not a positive sign. It will not take the test. Definitely not a positive sign. It's not doing anything. Okay. That's feeding off of that, so that shouldn't do anything. Well, that doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything. Yikes. Guess we better go see if we can figure out what that's all about. Okay, I went back and checked the fuse box, and apparently I mislabeled 2 cables. So they're reversed. Put the plug on here, and that one's good. But that one doesn't work. I can't get it to reset. I can't get this GFCI to set. And so I don't know if there's something wrong wiring wise, or if it's just a bad outlet. But it's hot. And I'm sure everybody's more curious about the lights, and the lights work, and work very well. They look pretty good. They look really good. So that is the lights that we've got for the kitchen. And I still need to figure out what's wrong with that outlet. I'm gonna cut y'all loose because I think I'm gonna be here a while.
Yeah, that doesn't look dangerous at all.
Nope. Well, it is a pretty day today. The sun chased the sun. Damn it. All right, stop. Let's get the tractor. Yeah.